Okay, Mareike. So this is your interview to share your experience of the SMRT method, and you were very in helping me create the name. Really, I was torn between a couple of names, and you've had something back, and I was like, yes, she's nailed it. So thank you for that.
No problem.
So I'm really excited about this technique. So first of all, why did you volunteer? What was holding you back? You knew it was a problem in your life, and how long had it been a problem?
Um, I wanted to volunteer because the problem I've had was basically a real lack of confidence and scrutinizing myself, thinking that others are scrutinizing me, but looking back, it was just me doing it. Like I've never really had much negative feedback from people, but in my head, I made it a lot worse than what it was.
Yeah.
So that is an issue that I've had, oh God, I want to say th over 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah, over 30 years. So I thought this is a good opportunity to see whether this works because I'm quite a critical person. I'm very open, but at the
Yeah.
same time,
Exactly.
I think like, no, that can't work. So I was very curious, to be honest. So when we did that technique, I was thinking, all right, I go in. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I've nothing lost, you know. It's like a bit time out of my life. And then when you and I did the first round, and then we did it again, I was like, that's unbelievable. This is actually working. And then I did it again on the morning before my first meeting at work, and I couldn't believe it. I went into this work meeting completely relaxed. Like
And normally you'd feel,
normally I would be nervous. I would be thinking in my head, creating scenarios in my head, preparing what I would answer. So I would come up with God knows how many questions that I could be asked, and then already in my mind creating answers for them. You know, that takes a lot of time and a lot of effort.
I remember you saying actually that you have conversations out loud. Did you say you have conversations out loud in your head trying to preempt what they will say and how you will answer because you were so self-aware and critical of how you were coming across and what people will think. And you also said you felt like it was really holding you back because you have a lot of knowledge and wisdom in your workplace.
Yeah,
But if ever you were asked a question, you wouldn't speak.
absolutely. That went so far that when I knew I had a big meeting, for example, I would go through these scenarios days beforehand. I would lay
Oh,
in bed thinking about what will I say, what could I be asked, making notes of things that, you know, normally, like most of the time, I wasn't asked any of these things, but in my mind I was. And because of that, I kept in the background all the time. I thought if I don't speak up, if I'm not seen, then people might not ask me anything, if that makes sense.
wow. How much energy was this taking out of your life?
A lot of energy, a lot of sleep, and
Oh,
just I created worry in my mind that was unnecessary. But I
mm,
couldn't help it. I just could not just, you know, the rational mind would say, come on, don't be like that. It's silly. But, you know, when you're subconsciously scrutinizing yourself all the time, you cannot just switch that off.
no. And I was saying this on a video, it's actually a physical thing, isn't it? It's not just a mental thing, it's a physical thing. It's like I was saying, talk therapy is great, but it can only go so far when there's a deep rooted fear
Mhm.
that where the body is just saying no all the time. Don't
Yeah.
go for that promotion. Don't speak out. Don't fall in love. Whatever. It just pulls you back. And no matter what you say, your physical body, because it's your nervous system working to keep you safe, it will do everything to keep you safe.
Yeah.
So this just seems to remove all of the insecurities from the nervous system. So just share how that impacted. So you felt it instantly, didn't you? Through the
Mhm.
therapy, you were like, okay, the memory's fading. So just share how you experienced it.
For me, it was quite unbelievable to start with because the more I did the exercises, the more the memory faded. And I first I felt really like removed from the memory in terms of emotions, like I wasn't out looking in from the outside. And now I'm at that point where I remember it, but there's nothing there. And for me, it is such a relief. This is just I can't even put it into words. It's almost like someone took that memory out of my brain and says, you don't need that anymore. That's gone now, you know? So it's my bird in the background if you hear him.
Don't worry, I've got Daisy walking around chomping bones as she does when I'm trying to do videos. And
All the
it's
time.
oh, she does it all the time. They have a knack of timing, don't they? So it's the memory, it's not just the memory, it's the impact it had on us way back when we were a child or had a big emotional impact. And it's the association. So we have a visual memory, and then we have a set of emotions that accompany that memory. And when we think about that memory, those emotions come flooding back like we're reliving it at
Mhm.
the age of whatever we were as a child or an adult. And then it's that gets triggered when we're adults and we're going for promotions, we're wanting to speak out. It's that actually being triggered in the nervous system,
Yeah.
going, no, don't do it, don't do it. And it makes us. And people say, I have a limiting belief. I hear it. Imagine how many times I hear it a day from people. I have a fear of, I
Hmm.
just don't have the confidence to. I really want to, but I feel I can't. And I have this block. And it's all because the memory and emotions are stored together. And as soon as the brain picks up in the current environment that's going to happen again, the physical body just completely stops them from doing the thing that they really want to do. It's debilitating. So your memory and the impact that memory imprint had on you was completely ruling your life.
Yeah, totally. Totally. And this is just literally like it's gone. It is literally, it, I feel like it's never been an issue. You know, I cannot, thinking back, I can't imagine why I was so scared about speaking to people. I mean, I said to you when we first had our first meeting, I was so nervous about speaking to you, thinking, what is she like? You know, is she gonna be nice? Yeah, because that was in my mind. And now I'm just going, oh yeah, yeah, but let's have a chat, you know. I mean,
And you do look different, and your body looks, not feels, I don't know how it feels, but it looks like it feels different to me. Physically, you feel just more like
yeah,
yourself.
I feel great. And I mean, one thing that my husband said to me the other day is like, God, you're smiling. You're
Oh,
smiling like all the time. I was like, yeah, I know, I feel great.
I'm so happy for you. And have you, no, because it's been what, 48 or more hours now, 3 days, maybe?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
roughly. Yeah.
So has that continued in the workplace? I feel okay. I'm speaking up. Has anybody noticed in the workplace?
Nobody has said anything, but I've noticed it in myself because I think it has had a spreading effect. So I notice it's not only calls now, it's also when I get email queries, for example. I'm not looking at the query going like, ooh, I'm going like, yeah, yeah, I'll do that in a minute. I can do that. So it has an overall confidence effect for me anyway.
Amazing. I'm so happy for you. And would you say that once now you know the technique, if anything comes up for you in the future, you have the ability to use this technique going forward?
Absolutely. I'm actually working on a new memory. It's a little bit more intimate, so I don't want to really talk too much
No,
about it. But I've started using that, and I'm already seeing a difference in that one as well.
seriously, can without revealing the details, what's changing for you? Is it working in the same way? Can you reveal anything without sharing anything that you don't want to?
It's again related to shame because
Yeah,
I was shamed quite a lot when I was a kid.
yeah,
And it's one of these. I mean, this memory goes back to when I was about 4 or 5 years old. I
yeah,
mean, that's how long it's been. We're talking
yeah,
40 years. And that is some. Uh, It hasn't similar to the one at the workplace, but it's more exposed. I
hmm,
feel more exposed in certain situations than,
yeah,
for example, just a work chat.
yeah,
But that's got more, yeah, without wanting to go too much more
yeah.
detail, is a lot heavier than the one that I first worked on. But I'm
Amazing.
feel confident enough to actually tackle it
And
because
how many times have you worked with the technique?
twice now,
Have
twice.
you started to notice a shift in the memory and association?
Yes, I already have. It's already fading. and I can look at that memory of already a little bit more relaxed. So that's a good start.
And when you first thought about that memory, how did it make you feel?
Oh my God. Absolutely ashamed and despaired and very, very angry because this memory has an impact on my relationship with my mother. So I
Right,
would like to tackle this and see how it affects my relationship with my mum. So, but
great.
I'm quite confident and quite optimistic that it will work out because I'm convinced that this technique just works.
So good. And you know, if you need any help with that, let me know, won't you?
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much. And like I say, I'm so honored that you were a case study volunteer with me. You know, you're kind of new to the academy, so it's not like, you know, we've got this big rapport or you trust me completely. You know, it's not just like, you know, we have this relationship and you've just stepped into my world with the Soul Awakening Academy.
Yeah.
You just got to know me and you volunteered, and you know, I'm with you about having that critical mind about
Yeah.
things. You know, I'm happy to give things a go, but I'm always like, come on then, prove it, you know? So I get
Yeah.
that. So I really do appreciate your honest feedback on it.
No, I thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. That's
I'm,
is
I'm
it's
so
literally
happy
life
to
changing.
I'm so happy to have been able to give this to you and it to change your life in this way.
Oh, thank you. That's
Have a
great.
lovely weekend, Mareike.
You too.
Take care,
Thank
my
you.
love.
You
Bye.
too. Bye.
Bye.